Today you're going to create a real quick pencil holder. The first thing we're going to start with is we're going to create a new sketch. Shift S, click on the top, and make it normal 2. We're going to use a center point circle and attach it to the origin here. The diameter of our circle is going to be 60. We're going to accept the sketch. We're going to extrude this circle, either Shift E or extrude up here. We're going to make this 85 millimeters. Right click and drag. You can see what you have extruded it. We're going to accept that extrude. Now we're going to hollow it out using our shell tool. On shell, we're going to click on this top face here. Our shell thickness is going to be 3. No, we're going to go 5 and accept that. All right, so this here is pretty boring so far. What we're going to do is, if you look on my one over here, we're going to create a pattern to go around it. It's a pretty easy pattern. So what we're going to do is we have to first right click on the front plane, or right, it does not matter which one, but we need to click on one of these, right click. We're going to offset a plane. That means we're going to actually create a new plane off of the pencil jar. So just drag this arrow until that plane, it doesn't matter how far, but just so that it is not touching the jar there. So accept your distance. Again, it does not matter which one, as long as it is not touching. So now we're going to create a new sketch on that new plane that we just drew. So new sketch on plane 1, right? And make it normal 2. I'm going to draw a line, a vertical line. I want to make sure it's in the center of my jar, so I just need to hover over the origin point so I get that dotted line. And I'm going to click and click. We will dimension it here in just a minute. Okay. You can hit escape. You don't want to draw another line here, so just hit escape. That will go away. Now I'm going to use my dimension tool. Let's see, we did a height of there to there. We're going to make this, let's make this 12 here at the top. And we will dimension the bottom one and also make it 12. All right, so that is now centered there. On this same sketch, we're going to click here where it says offset, and we're going to use the slot tool. So what this is going to do is it's going to draw a shape around this line. So slot tool, with that line, and I can change my diameter here. I can change it to 15 if I want it larger. Change it whatever number I think looks right. I'm going to go with sure. Sounds good. 11 there. I can click off. That is now accepted. And I am done with my sketch there. So now what I need to do is I need to use this wrap tool. Okay, click on wrap. It's asking us what we want to wrap, so that is this one here. And my target is the cylinder. Click on that, click on the cylinder. Now I've got options here. First option, I can move it up or down, but I don't want to do that. The second one is actually going to allow me to rotate. I can choose something that looks good. Now the thing we got to think about here is when this is 3D printing, we don't want too much of an angle. So I'd say somewhere in there looks pretty good. The other thing I need to do is it needs to be a solid. So we're going to use the wrap tool. What I forgot to do is we got to click solid first. Now we can select the slot. The next thing we can do is select the target. And my depth here, well, I made that wall thickness 5, so I need to make sure that I'm going at least 5 there. I can set my angle again. And what this wrap is going to do is it's going to contour this flat shape around the curve of the cylinder. Oh, whoops, I need to remove. There we go. And now that I click remove, I can accept that. So I can turn my sketch off. If yours didn't turn off, you can turn that sketch off now. All right, so now that we have the slot removed, what I want to do is I want to pattern that around this circle. We are going to use our circular pattern. Entities to pattern. I am not patterning a part, I'm actually patterning a feature. Parts are parts of sketches. Features are your extrudes, your revolves, your sweeps, these things up here. So since this wrap was a feature, I need to go up here and go to feature pattern. My feature to pattern, I'm going to click on wrap one. My axis of pattern, I'm going to select axis of pattern, and I'm going to go on the outside circumference there. And now I have that pattern. I can change my instances. Generally, odd numbers seem to look better, but I can change that to my liking. Okay. I'm going to go with 7. I kind of like that. And based on that, I now have my jar. One thing I can do here is I can fillet this top edge just to round that out a little bit. So I have clicked on both of those edges, so that's the nice round edge there. I'm going to leave the bottom one. You could get carried away and you could fillet these to see if you like what that looks like. Right, but what you're going to do now is create your own pattern on here and submit an STL. Remember, you do that by right-clicking. Please put your name on it. Your pencil, and then we'll right-click, export. We need to export the STL. Your settings should be the same from last time. STL and millimeter. STL and millimeter. And you will submit that to Schoology.